Today I'm going to be sharing with you my PM skincare routine. If you are new here, my name is Penny. I'm a master esthetician in Portland, Oregon, and I have a pretty complex night routine. For reference, I'm going to be 48 years old next month, and I have dry, dehydrated skin. My main gripes have always been that dryness and that dehydration, but also they have been hyperpigmentation. That's been kind of ongoing since maybe my mid-30s. Now, like I've said before, I did have a lift and a platysmoplasty as well. I got an upper blepharoplasty about 6-7 months ago. I am going to be doing an entire series on that, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely subscribe if you're interested in that. The one thing that I do want to say is that no plastic surgery is going to replace good skincare. You're still going to have hyperpigmentation, you're still going to be aging, and you're still going to have laxity. It doesn't get rid of all of your laxity, nor should it. And you're also going to still be dry or dehydrated if that is who you are. So definitely it's important to know that you still got to take good care of your skin, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So first things first, what I do to begin with, of course, is I cleanse. I don't do a lot of double cleansing anymore for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I think it's laziness. So I'm just doing a single cleanse. My favorite single cleanses of the moment are, I love this one from Honest Beauty. This one is fantastic. It is a gel to a milk, and it's just beautiful. I put this on dry skin and massage it in for a while, and then you get it wet with, obviously, you splash it, and it turns into a milky cleanser, and it rinses away really, really clean. I find that it does a really good job of helping to remove makeup, but it leaves my dehydrated skin really nice and soft and supple, not stripped in any way, but also it leaves my skin clean. So I feel like it's ready for the rest of the stuff that I'm going to do. So this one is a really one that I reach for all the time. Okay, a couple nights a week, I am using my Droplette with a retinol capsule. This is actually the only nights that I use Droplette at night is when I do retinol, because mostly my Droplette is in the AM with the collagen capsules, or sometimes now the glycolic capsules. I'll do that once or twice a week also, but I'm putting those in the morning. I will explain later on in the routine what that means to my retinoid step. So that would be next. It is on clean, dry skin. Okay, the next step for me is my growth factor step. Now, this was something that I was doing in the mornings. I've been kind of rearranging my routine and reconfiguring it. And the more research that I have done about growth factors and retinoids, the more that I think that they should be used in the same part of the routine. I kind of didn't think that before. I used to think I wanted to split them up. I was worried that the retinoid might actually make my growth factor protein a little bit less effective, but the more that I research, the more that I think that it's actually the opposite. I think that it's kind of a 1-2 punch, and to do it at night is the best, because that's when we're going to be, regenerating and repairing, and we get our best kind of, skin rejuvenation happening overnight. So in this step for me, I'm using the Revive Serums. This is their ultimate serum. I talked about this in my affordable or amazing alternatives, because we can all argue that this is still not affordable, of course, because this still, after my discount, is in the $90 range. So obviously that is not something I would call affordable. However, because it is an alternative to SkinMedica TNS, which is $281 for 1 ounce, and this is 1.69 ounces for $90, it is a more affordable alternative. I love this. I hate to use these words, but I'm obsessed with this. I actually, right before I put out my affordable alternatives video, I bought 2 more bottles of this, because I thought if I put that video out and everybody catches hold of my excitement, that it might be gone for a while. So I actually ordered backups already, knowing that it's something that's going to be a staple in my routine. Now, at $90+, I know that that is not super affordable. I know that that is not inexpensive, but I do think that growth factors play a really big role in an anti-aging, rejuvenating skincare routine. And if you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you really might want to consider getting growth factors in. There are contraindications questions. If you have a history of skin cancer, then you may want to consult with a practitioner before you incorporate growth factors. I love them for helping to improve collagen and elastin production. That's what I'm going for growth factors for. I'm hoping that it will help with fine lines. I'm hoping that it will help with elasticity, with the bounce to the skin, but growth factors can also help with things like hyperpigmentation, texture, etc., just by promoting healthy skin, healthy skin proliferation, essentially. If you are not familiar, it comes in a double chamber similar to the TNS. And what happens is when you pump it, you get a little bit of each. So you get a little bit of the gel, you get a little bit of like the lotion. Then you emulsify it on the back of your hand, and then you apply it to your skin, and it turns into almost like a watery serum. It is super, super easy to use, but it also just soaks right into your skin. So it allows for you just to layer on more things. And as you will see in this routine, I do layer a lot of things. I try to get a lot of things in to feed my skin overnight. And like I said before, I know some people are not going to agree with this, or they're going to think that this is overkill, that this is too much, and that is fine. This is just what I am doing, and this is just partly in the evenings. It is self-care time. It's also just about the time and the care and the potential to be my best self. That's how I see skincare. Okay, after I've done my growth factor step, I actually do try to give my skin maybe like 10 minutes. I just let it be for a little while. What I do add next is my serum step. Now, for me, this can mean several different things, and it's all dependent on how my skin is behaving. So if I have redness, I am going to reach for beta-glucan. So I've talked about this product forever. It is a serum. It is lovely, it's affordable, and it lasts forever, you guys. It's super, super moisturizing. Beta-glucan is really fantastic for redness. It's also a humectant, so it helps with hydration. And this one is, it's just a beautiful formula. It's my favorite beta-glucan product, and I've repurchased it over and over and over. It's by Iunik, and I love it. So if I'm feeling like I need hydration and I'm feeling like I've got a little bit of redness, which definitely happens to me, that's what I will pull for that one. If I am really focusing on hyperpigmentation, that's when I will grab a pigment inhibitor. And right now that is Tranexamic Acid. So I've been using this one from Naturium. I like it. It is 5% Tranexamic Acid. I also have one called Tranex. That one does have some products in it, or some ingredients in it, like glycolic acid, etc., that makes me want to put that one in the morning. So this one from Naturium is really nice, and I've used a couple bottles of it and I really like it. So that is if I'm kind of feeling like I need to really focus on my hyperpigmentation. The other serum that I might grab for would be a Bifida Serum. So I still use the Advanced Night Repair from Estee Lauder. It's a glorious product, you guys. This has been around for decades, and there's a reason for that. This one uses bifida ferment lysate, which is brightening and hydrating and reparative and just a fantastic ingredient. Now, I have done affordable alternatives on the Advanced Night Repair, and there are some really great alternatives. Isntree has a really nice bifida product that I love, that I'm just out of. I love that one day and night. It's beautiful. This one is not inexpensive, but it does last forever, and you can multi-purpose this. You can mix it with your foundation if you have a long wear foundation that is a little bit drying and you have dry skin, and it will create the most beautiful gel textured foundation ever. It's so, so beautiful. That's actually why I initially bought this, was to mix with foundation. Anyway, this one is really, really great, and I will reach for that if I just feel like I want overall pampering to my skin. I want a little bit of repair, I need some hydration, I need some brightness, and I just want to kind of go all in and give my skin a treat overnight. Then I would reach for one of my Bifida products. That is the Advanced Night Repair. Now, could I use all of these? Sure, if I wanted to. I could layer them all up. They would all be in this step. I usually don't. I usually pick one, and I just kind of decide how my skin is behaving, and often I will pick the same one night after night for a while. It just really depends on the skin. So in your serum step, what I think that you need to do is, instead of mimicking what I do, you need to ask yourself, what is the gripe that you have most, and pick a serum that's going to address that. Because your serum is your opportunity to, really get in some great ingredients that might actually get into your skin, because they're so close to the beginning of the routine, and they're in that kind of smaller molecular size, or they're in that, more liquidy state. So they're able to kind of get in before we add in things like moisturizers and occlusives, etc. So the next step after this for me is my DNA repair. The only one that I use, because I've tried a ton now, is the one from Photozyme. I have switched this around in my routine a bunch also. I put it in the morning, I put it at night, but I've kind of come to the realization that a lot of this stuff is happening at night. A lot of the repair is happening at night. So that is why this is so extensive. And my now AM routine is just pretty simple. And if you're interested, I can definitely share an updated AM routine. It is a little bit different than the most recent one that I shared, because I've simplified it even more, honestly. So DNA repair is just one of those things that, especially I feel like as we get older, I do know that it can help with hyperpigmentation. It can help with repairing damage. It can help with prevention of new damage. But to me, the science is really, really compelling. It is definitely something to research on your own. If you're interested in more information about DNA repair, I do have a video on it. I will link it in the description box, and it kind of goes through what exactly DNA repair is, what it does, and I think it's fascinating. Okay, so that is the next step. This one from Photozyme is a lotion. It does say it's a serum, but it's really kind of like a lotion, which is why it comes after the serum step. It goes right into the skin and layers really beautifully, and then it's gone. So all of these so far are so lightweight and fine that you don't feel like you're like layered up with heavy things. It definitely feels like you're just adding little layers of, kind of things that are going to address concerns. So these are all things that are addressing specific concerns that I personally have. The next step is going to be my retinoid step. This is a non-negotiable, and it is something that I recommend that everybody consider having in your routine. Now, for me, I have several different retinoids that I rotate in, basically on like a 3-day cycle. Now, if it is a night when I have used the Droplette with retinol, then I don't use this step otherwise. I don't double dip my retinol. I could if I wanted to, but I don't. I usually skip the retinoid step at this point if I did retinol with the Droplette. If I'm not doing retinol with the Droplette, then I rotate in a couple other things. I rotate in a regular retinol, and I will give you some options, or I rotate in my RetinA. So I kind of rotate these in on like a 3-day thing. So one night I might do my Droplette with retinol, the next night I might do my Tretinoin, and then the third night I'm doing, let's say, Emapel. If you are someone who has a sensitivity to tretinoin, then you might want to do retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde is just one step down from the active form, which is tretinoin, and it is the closest thing you're going to get to a prescription to tretinoin over the counter. So recommendations for retinaldehyde from me are going to be Avene. Avene is one of the best retinaldehydes on the market. This is their RetinAL. This is really fantastic. I look for the fragrance-free version, and I like the 0.05 retinaldehyde. The other one that you can get that is also over the counter is by Maelove. Now, this one is really interesting. It's a serum form, and you can see how bright yellow it is. It is true retinaldehyde in here. This was actually a recommendation from a friend of mine, Andrew, and it is incredible. It has aloe in it, it has glycerin, and of course then it has that retinaldehyde, which again is only one step down from the active prescriptive form, which is tretinoin. So retinaldehyde is a really, really great option, I think, for everyone if you do not want to get a prescription, if you are sensitive to tretinoin, if you are just getting introduced into retinoids and you want the one that is going to be the least sensitizing, retinaldehyde is a great option. Now, the reason why retinoids are so important is that they do all kinds of things that are really, really good for our skin. They help to promote healthy cells coming to the surface. They are a pigment inhibitor, so they help to kind of hold down excess pigment. So if you are somebody who has hyperpigmentation, a retinoid can help with that. It can help with fine lines and wrinkles because it helps to promote collagen production. It's really, really one of the steps that I think is non-negotiable and should be in everyone's PM routine. Obviously, retinoids can help with acne, and they're just overall a really, really great thing to get into your PM routine. Now, if you want to do tretinoin, you can obviously do tretinoin, and you just have to get a prescription for that and have a practitioner kind of help you to get on to tretinoin. If you are somebody who has used tretinoin, you know there is a certain way that you get onto it. It's usually slow and steady so that you can acclimate to this really strong vitamin. But it is absolutely worth it. If you can get a prescription and you feel like your skin can tolerate it, it is worth trying because it is definitely the gold standard in, skincare that works and has been studied for decades and decades and decades. So that is tretinoin. Now, the last thing that is worth considering when it comes to retinol is something like Emipel. I still use Emipel and I still love it. And the reason why Emipel is really one of those options that isn't necessarily for everyone is because it's really good if you are perimenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal. So those of you who are, say, 30 years old and you are not in a menopausal state for some, outlying reason, because most people in their 30s aren't. Some of you are, I know, for specific reasons, but most of us aren't in a perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopausal state until we're in our late 40s, early 50s. If that is you, you may want to consider something like Emipel, which is a retinol, but it also has their MEP technology in there, which is not a hormone, but mimics the estrogen hormone, which drops off drastically as we enter menopause. And that is correlated with a real big drop off in collagen production. So Emipel is one of those retinols, in my opinion, that is in my arsenal because of my age and because of where I am in relation to menopause. So this would be one that you might want to consider if that is you as well. Next step after that is going to be moisturizer for me. So a couple that I like a lot, you guys, and I've talked about for a really long time. I really like this one from Belay. This is just a really beautiful moisturizer at a super, super affordable price. Almost like a serum-y lotion, you can see. I love it. It packs a punch though for hydration. The serum nature of it, don't let that fool you. It is definitely a really nicely hydrating moisturizer, but it doesn't leave you sticky or tacky. You're not going to stick to your pillow or anything like that. It is definitely a beautiful, beautiful moisturizer. The other one that I've been kind of testing out recently since I did my CeraVe video is the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. Now, I bought this in this size because I knew I just wanted to give it a test. And actually, so far, I really like it. I have heard from a lot of people that they have actually reformulated this and that people like it less because I think what they changed was the hyaluronic acid. They changed to sodium hyaluronate. And some people actually find that it is sensitizing and almost, I've heard people say it burns my skin or it has a burning sensation. I haven't noticed that. It kind of traps in all this other stuff that I've done. And I like this one a lot, actually. Now, the last thing that I might do to my face is I might add the CeraVe ointment. Typically, this is going to go under my eyes. I've been taking the moisturizers that I put on all the way up under my eyes. I just do. And sometimes if I remember, I will put on an eye cream, but I don't always remember to do that. And then what I will do on some nights, depending on how my skin feels, is I might take a little bit of the CeraVe ointment and I might occlude under my eyes. Now, this is something that is kind of, I'm back and forth on. I've actually liked the way that my skin looks when I wake up in the morning when I do this. But at the same time, I'm kind of back and forth because it does have mineral oil in it. And, I'm just not sure if I really want to put mineral oil on my face. But I love this for my cuticles. I love this for my elbows. I love this for my knees and also for my heels. It's beautiful. It is fantastic to use at night. Other places besides your face. So, and I have been using it under my eyes with really, really great success. I'm not saying that it will be great success for everyone else, but it's something I've been kind of playing around with for the last couple of months and enjoying. Now at this point, what I am doing is I'm actually putting in my Revitalash into my hair. Now, this is my second bottle of this. I did do an entire video on this. This is the only hair foam that I have been able to find so far that contains a similar prostaglandin to like Latisse. And I have definitely noticed that my bang area is growing faster. I'm finally to the point where it's starting to show the results. And just like I suspected when I started using it, it works. I only use it from ear to ear in this very front band, and I go back just a little bit on this top part because it's so expensive and I just don't think that I could use it on my whole head without going through it way too fast. So I really focus a lot right here, and then I will put some right in kind of the edges where I notice that I am thinned out over the years, probably partially from using extensions and just from age. And I've never really had a ton of hair on the sides. I've always had what I called air hair, like the sides of my hair always was thinner and finer looking. Anyway, that's where I'm putting this at night. I am doing that because I find that it dries overnight. I don't apply heat to it like I was doing before, and it doesn't leave my hair greasy or sticky or anything. And the next day I can still restyle my hair and it's just fine. So this has been going on at night on the days that I don't wash my hair in the morning. Because if I wash my hair in the morning, I put this on when I get out of the shower and on my scalp when it's wet. So that's how I'm using this, but it does have to be used every single day, and it has to be used every single day for at least 8 or 9 or 10 weeks before you start to realize the benefits of it. If you don't use it every single day and consistently for a few months, you won't notice the benefits and you'll think it just doesn't work. Just like eyelash serums, if you don't use them every single day in the beginning, you won't notice the effects of them, or it will take a lot longer. I'm really excited because I think when I get through this bottle, I have another bottle already. I think I might be able to go to every other day, but that's what I do next. Now, somewhere in the mix, I do an eyelash serum. Again, it has a prostaglandin. It's going to help with eyelash growth and thickness and all of that stuff. And I do this at some point during all of this. Honestly, what happens is at some point I remember and I'm like, oh, I got to do my eyelashes. So it doesn't really fit in anywhere specifically. It fits in when I actually remember to pick it up and use it. So this happens at night now. The last thing I want to tell you that I do for retinol, and this is a retinol that you can definitely use on your face. So in that retinoid step, you can use the CeraVe Resurfacing Retinol. This is an absolutely wonderful retinol choice. It is encapsulated and it just is a beautiful product. I like it a lot. The way I've been using this one is actually on my décolleté and on my hands. I've been trying really hard to get rid of some of the hyperpigmentation that honestly, in the last year, my hands all aged so much. I was seeing all of this old damage, I could tell. So I've really gotten diligent about using a pigment inhibitor at night on my hands, and then I use a retinoid, and I'm using the CeraVe Retinol. I've gone through a couple of these now. I'm doing it on my décolleté, up my neck, and then on the back of my hands with a pigment inhibitor on my hands, and I am definitely starting to notice a difference. I did remember to take a before of my hands before I started doing this routine consistently. I will definitely share that maybe in like another month, and we will see. I can see with my naked eye the improvement already in my hands, but I think it's going to be really cool to see the before and after pictures, and actually even the texture looks a little bit better already, and so that's exciting to me. I think that is my entire routine, you guys. I know that it is extensive, like I've said. I know that somebody is going to be like, are you kidding me? I would say that if you are interested in, kind of coming up with your own PM routine and you've just watched this video and you're like, what? I would say that cleansing is really important. If you are 40 plus years old, consider doing DNA repair. A retinoid is super, super important. I would say that is one of the most important things that you can do for your skin at night. And then I would also say that using a moisturizer at night is actually a really great thing because it helps with your barrier, and it can help to, your body to kind of do its thing overnight while it has water trapped in and has the ability to kind of repair itself. So those would be basics. If you want to take this and strip it way down, wash your face, get in some DNA repair if you're over 40, get a retinoid in no matter how old you are, and moisturize, and then go to bed. Get some sleep. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to link all of this stuff in the description box by category, hopefully so that will be helpful for you. You do not need all of this. You need to pick and choose depending on what might be your skincare concern. That is the most important thing that I could ever convey to you. Everything that I use is not everything that you should use. You have to decide what is most important to you, what bothers you most, and then pick accordingly. I do hope you're having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.